Okay, so the marketing video ended up running very long. So this is the second marketing video. Make sure that you watch that video first, as this video is following that video. The Wattpad series will be linked below. All the videos are very, very helpful in terms of building your Wattpad account, building a following, getting, reads on your book. So yes, make sure that you check out all those videos prior to this one, as this one is literally the second half of that video. Before I get into this video, I just want to give a shout out to this amazing book. Check it out. It's awesome. I love it. It will be linked below. And also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so now we're going to proceed with the video. So another thing that a lot of writers find very helpful is obviously Facebook, having like a Facebook page, Facebook group. I personally find that groups are easier to build, but pages you can sort of do more because you can link it with Instagram, and it's two birds, one stone, because you also want to try to, work smarter, not harder. You don't want to be spending all this time marketing, you want to be writing your book. So if you can link things and schedule posts and just do it in one go, that's not as strenuous as having to have all these places and update all these places. A bit of advice that I received from a mentor many years ago was, you're much better investing in like one place rather than everywhere at once and trying to be perfect everywhere at once. Have one core place where you promote. I suggest TikTok, but if it's Facebook, or Instagram or X, but have one core place that is your core place where the majority of your promotion will be, and then the others are sort of secondary. So you put the most energy into this one place and the others are more like a backup, just in case this place, touch wood, gets deleted or something happens. It is good to be available everywhere so people can find you everywhere, because there may not be people, if you use TikTok for example, there may not be people who are on there that would love to read your book. So it's good to be available everywhere, but don't put so much energy into everything. Have a core place and then sub places where you upload once a week or whatever, but the core place preferably every day if you can, preferably, and it doesn't have to be the best video in the world. I will say a good video goes further than a lot of crappy videos, but activity is more important than non-activity. So it's a bit of a catch-22, I suppose. But what I personally tend to do is I have a quote that's, anything's better than nothing. It's on my YouTube. It's on my YouTube, and that's what I live by now. It's like, my crappy little video, even if it's imperfect, is better than me sharing nothing. So that's what I live by. But ideally, better video is better. You want to make sure to, no matter where it is, whether it's Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, you want to make sure to use the right hashtags. Hashtags are your best friend. It's how people are going to find you. It's going to make all the difference of where you are, where you end up, So you need to make sure that you use the right hashtags. You don't want to use too many popular hashtags. You don't want to use hashtags that aren't used at all. So you need to find, they say use at least 3 hashtags, especially if you're on TikTok. 3 hashtags, because too many is bad too. 3 hashtags, and try to use one popular, one sort of unique, like as in not so unique it's used by one person, but like it's like within the thousands rather than millions, because it tells you how many people have used the hashtag. And then one, sort of a quirky one to sort of get, new people in. So I always use BookTok, always. But that's a very competitive hashtag. And, then I use something more unique. It depends on the book, if I'm honest. But yes, the hashtags are very, very important. And I always use at least 3 on TikTok. Very important. Now with TikTok, if you are new on TikTok, this is the most vital information that I will give you. When you first upload your first video on TikTok, they're more likely to push those first 2 to 3 videos out than any other videos. So the reason they do that is because it's your first video. They don't know who your audience is. So they just push it out to see who receives it, and that's how they know where to place you. Those first videos are so important with TikTok. I unfortunately did not utilize mine because I didn't know this at the time, but you want to make sure that they are book orientated. They're going to the right, to your like target audience. So if you write children's stories, you want to make sure that you're using children's story tags. You want to make sure that you are reaching that market audience, because that's where you're going to be placed in, you know. Not forever, you can get out of it. Okay, you can move, but it's hard. Like that, those first few videos are so important because it's going to tell TikTok how good you are and who watches you and where to place you. So utilize that. Utilize those first few videos. If you are using Facebook, Facebook is hard. It's very hard because they very much limit what you can do marketing wise there. They often say like, you know, they'll say like, you know, spam and stuff like that. They're very big on, you know, watching repetitive behaviors. So I used to try to invite all my friends to my group, and I can't do that anymore because Facebook very much limits you in a lot of ways. So with Facebook, I just try to do a little bit every day. I have an account that I specifically try to get readers on that account, and I invite those readers to my page and group and stuff like that, because it's very hard to, particularly on Facebook, Instagram, to build a community there. It's much easier on TikTok. So with that, I feel like when you're first starting, you do have to invite people, and if you don't want to invite your friends and family, make an alias like I did. Fill that alias with readers or like Wattpadders, fellow writers, fellow authors. It's good to have connections, and invite them to your group to get you started. And then do all your shares there, of course, but choose your one core area and then sub areas. Very important. So for graphics, let's just say that you're making graphics for Instagram and Facebook. I very much recommend using Canva. Canva is a really, really good platform for making any kind of graphic material, because it's drag and drop, it's easy to use, and they have templates which you can personalize, which is just super easy. So Canva is linked below. So if you want to check that out or use that, highly recommend that. Another really good way to do marketing is to do trades with people. So for example, let's just say you know, make connections with another author on Wattpad. They're around the same, try to get them around the same like following as you are. That's usually what people do. Like if they've got a large following, they're less likely to do this, but around the same following. Let's just say you have 1,000 followers, they have 1,000 followers. You can talk to them. Of course, you can't do PM anymore. Wattpad removed PM, but you can message them either like if they got the social media on their page or like on their wall or on their story even, and be like, hey, would you be interested in doing a shout out for shout out? You know, I will suggest your story, you suggest mine. Try to find people that are writing in the similar genre to what you write. Unfortunately, some people are a little hesitant to do this because they feel like you're gonna steal their followers, but that's not the case. Okay, you can't steal followers. Readers are always gonna read other things. That's not how it works. So yeah, if you are wanting to build a following but you're hesitant because you're like, I don't want my following to leave me and start reading their book, it's not gonna happen. Readers are always reading multiple things. They're following you because they like specifically your books, and just because you share another book or support another author or whatever it is, they're not gonna leave you for them. Either way, they're gonna be reading other books, so you may as well support other people and have support along the way. Having that community of writers supporting you and sharing your books and your art is very, very helpful, and it's something that is a quick way to build your following. So in the early days of Wattpad, when I first joined, that's what I was doing. I was getting other writers to give me shout outs, whether it's on social media or preferably Wattpad, to their following, and that's how I was building my followers rather quickly, having that agreed, like I share you share me, and it was just very helpful to building that. You can also find fellow writers on Wattpad and be like, hey, I'll check out your story, you check out mine. And even though it's one person, it might seem tedious or unhelpful, having that engagement on your story, even if it's one person, every little bit helps, every little bit builds. And you know, more likely, it's like stories that are more popular are more likely to continue being popular. So if you notice that your story just isn't getting a lot of reads or a lot of momentum, and you are sharing it, you know, then try that more personalized approach of like finding, you know, fellow writers. You're like, I read your story, you read my story, and you do that trade. And even though it's a very small like lift in your story, it's just one person reading it, that one bit will build to more, you know, because now that they've read it, your story is more likely to be suggested to people who read the same things they read. And it's like, it just, every little bit helps. It might seem redundant, it might seem small, but every little bit helps more than you realize. So yes, don't be afraid to share your story. Share it proudly, share it loudly, share it proudly. Be proud of your art, be proud of your writing. If in saying that, if you want to promote your story, literally put it in the comments below. I'll try to check out as many books as I can, or you can suggest another author. I love supporting my fellow writers. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There is many more videos coming out in regards to Wattpad and writing. The next video is going to be about how to start your story in a way that is gripping and entertaining, and going to get attention, and going to get the attention of the readers. So even if you've written your story, this video is still going to be very helpful to you, because you can edit the first line to make it more gripping and more like what is popular on e-reader sites. So that's what the next video is going to be about. And before I go, I just want to give one more shout out to this amazing story. Remember, it is linked below. Please check it out. It truly is sensational. And thank you so much for watching.